Hello and welcome. I'm Exit Light and this is my channel. Today we're going to do an update on the family that mysteriously died in California on a hiking trip. Jonathan Garish, Ellen Chung, and their 1-year-old daughter, Miju, along with their pet dog. Today I'm going to give you a little more information about the family because that really hasn't been discussed much and a little more details are coming out now. So let's get started and we'll do this update. So John and Ellen were an adventurous couple. They had backpacked in the Himalayas. They'd ridden camels through the Gobi Desert. They had checked Burning Man off of their bucket list, and they even created their own hashtag, which was a combination of their first names, hashtag Gelon Adventures. So they were pretty accustomed to being outdoors. A hike in the Sierra National Forest didn't seem to be a stretch compared to some of the other things the couple had done. A friend of theirs that they'd met since they'd moved to San Francisco, who's named Stephen Jeff, who was also their neighbor, said that he finds the death mysterious. He's quoted as saying, "The unknown of what danger possibly lies there is what is most worrisome." He said that he became friends with the couple when they moved to San Francisco. He described Mr. Garish, who was a software engineer born in Britain, and Ms. Chung, a graduate student in a family therapy, who had worked as a yoga instructor, as outdoor types who were experienced hikers. Mr. Garish, who was 45, had worked as a software engineer for Google, and most recently he had worked for Snapchat. Ms. Chung, who was 30, she was raised in Southern California. He said that they were a beautiful family, so it's particularly devastating because they seemed to be in the prime of their relationship. They just had a brand new baby and were very happy. Recently, Sheriff Breeze was interviewed again, and he commented that it's frustrating. We're not going to rest. Our biggest mission is safety, but also the family and bringing closure and being able to support them through this tragic time. So what they have done is they have closed to the public all the hiking trails in the area of the Merced River in the Sierra National Forest. The authorities described this closure as a suspected illness in the area. The warning previously made reference to a fatality, but was changed to say illness. So that is something interesting in their changing of their wording. Also, the test results on the algae bloom have come back, and Sheriff Breeze said in an update that some test samples from the recent water samples that were taken from downstream of where the couple were had high levels of anatoxin A, but that the investigators are not saying that that's what killed the family. So what is anatoxin A? Well, it's sometimes called very fast death factor, and it's produced by I'm going to try and not murder this, okay? Cyanobacteria, caused by harmful algae blooms. The signs of toxicity were mostly neurological, so with deaths due to respiratory paralysis. In oral toxicity studies, animals demonstrated acute clinical signs of neurotoxicity such as loss of coordination, muscle twitching, and death from respiratory paralysis with several minutes of exposure. Okay, but the State Water Board said that it's continuing to recommend a cautionary advisory in that location where the family was found because it is still 2 tiers below the state's most serious danger advisory due to the level of the toxin. It is not as bad as it could be to apparently warrant a more severe advisory. This is just a caution they're putting there now, even though it is currently closed to the public, and so are the camping grounds. There's multiple types of cyanobacteria that were detected, and it's not uncommon for there to be certain levels in the water. So currently the warnings are: stay away from algae and scum in the water, do not let pets go into the water, do not drink the water or eat scum on the shore, which I don't know who does that, but keep children away from the algae, do not eat shellfish from this water body. So that's not extremely alarming that you would think, well, if you're in the area, just breathing could cause you to die. And I don't know if the paralysis of the lungs would show up in an autopsy or not. So maybe if somebody knows, they can leave a comment below and tell us that part. Other than the algae bloom, they are looking into another possibility. Responding agencies treated the scene as a hazmat situation because of the uncertainty about the cause of the fatalities, and the suspicions ranged from toxic algae to dangerous mine gases to murder. But according to the New York Times, the family is now being told that they are investigating if it was a lightning strike that could have killed the family and the dog. Law enforcement are investigating possible lightning strikes in the area at the time of the deaths, is the quote from the New York Times. According to the National Weather Service, being struck by lightning is primarily an injury to the nervous system, often with brain injury and nerve injury. Serious burns seldom occur. Death, which is extraordinarily rare, can be due to cardiac arrest. The National Weather Service data from 1989 to 2018 shows that 10% of people hit by lightning die, averaging 43 fatalities per year in the United States. So to have an entire family, 3 people and a dog, would be an excessive amount if you look at those odds. Also, if it caused a heart attack, that would have been seen in an autopsy. If it had caused brain injury, that would have been seen in an autopsy. I don't know if nerve injury would necessarily be seen in an autopsy, but it seems that this is unlikely, considering that the autopsy showed no signs of what caused this family to pass away. And we've talked about this, how it at this point it feels like they're just scrambling to find an answer, and whatever we do end up with might not really be what happened, because as we've talked about before, national parks bring in billions of dollars. Closing off a national park for any amount of time, especially in the summer, will cost a fortune. Not to mention there's people's jobs that are on the line if you continue to close the area where they work at. So I think they're probably getting more and more desperate to find some reason to claim happened to this family. There have been a handful of causes of death that have been ruled out. Acute trauma, such as stabbing, gunshot wounds, or blunt force trauma. They also do not believe that the family was killed by toxic gas escaping from an abandoned mine shaft, considering that the nearest mine shaft, I think we said last time, was at least a mile, maybe 3, away from where the family was. And here's another thing to think about. When the Sierra National Forest officials issued a closure of the Merced River recreation site, their reasoning was due to unknown hazards found in and near the Savage Lundy Trail. Well, that is contradictory. Unknown hazards are unknown. They are not found, or they wouldn't be unknown. So, what is happening? It seems very strange. The wording being changed seems strange. This unknown hazards found it's nonsensical. The recreational areas are scheduled to be open on September 17th. Even though they haven't found any answers, nothing's changed with the algae. There hasn't been a cause of death found. I think this is remaining to be a mystery. And whether we'll ever get the straight answer or not it's hard to tell, because you're dealing with a national park system. And a lot of people don't really think that they're on the up and up about things. It's, becoming more well known that strange things happen in national parks that are unexplainable. And this, so far, is definitely one. So I will keep you updated when there are new updates. I worry that it will fall off the radar, and maybe they will wait so long that they won't have to release a statement. And we don't want that to happen. So I'll keep doing updates as they come in and bringing it to the forefront of our minds. Thank you for coming. If you would, please give this video a thumbs up. Also, if you are not subscribed, please do subscribe. I am doing a giveaway very shortly when I hit 3,000 subscribers. It is a box full of things that are reminiscent of what my channel is. I'm pretty excited. Also, very shortly, we're going to start the 31 days of Halloween, in which I'll have content every single day. Something new, something different, some frightening, some educational, some entertaining. It's all over the board, and it's my favorite time of year. So you'll want to ring that bell so you'll get notified every time my content is released. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Good night.